Hey guys, it's Alyssa. So today I'm in a parking lot in my car. I don't really know why, I was just kind of feeling it. I needed to get outside and the sun's actually going down, so hopefully it doesn't get too dark in this. But I am in my car, so if you hear any weird noises, that's it. But it's too hot for me to well, for one, it's too hot for me to just sit outside, but it's also too hot for me to sit here with no air conditioning, so I have to leave it on. Anyway though, that's not what this video is about. Basically, I actually been watching like a ton of college-related videos because I go back to school in 2 weeks, so I guess school's just on the mind or something. And I got the idea from watching videos. I'll link like a couple channels below that I've been watching just, you know, for the heck of it. Things to watch that I've enjoyed. But I came up with like 5 things that, I'm gonna call this 5 things I wish someone had told me before applying to colleges. Or like going into the admissions process or whatever. But it's more just like 5 thoughts I guess I have in retrospect. So my first one is just to know yourself, and this is more in relation to like distance and choosing a school. So like I toured schools kind of all over. I toured a school all the way in San Francisco, California College of the Arts. I toured Liberty all the way in Virginia. I applied to SCAD, didn't tour it, but there's Watkins in Nashville, and then like some Texas schools, because I'm from Texas, by the way, and I think some in Oklahoma or something, I don't know, but I kind of went and looked all over. But at the end of the day, I mean, I did stay in Texas, in case you're wondering. I haven't said where I go, but I mean, TBH, it wouldn't be that hard to figure out where I go. But for the time being, I feel better not just like always saying where I go on my YouTube channel. I did end up staying like in state or whatever, and looking back, that definitely was a good idea. And it's hard to know because like I really did want to branch out, but I needed to like know myself better, I guess, as cheesy as that sounds. But like, I'm definitely a homebody, and I've always been that way. I mean, even like when I was like a really little kid, like going to dance class when I was like 3 years old, like I didn't want my mom to leave, and then like going into preschool, I cried all the time because I wanted to go home. Like, and I mean, I'm not saying I'm that extreme now by any means, but like that's just sort of like an innate thing, you know? So if you know you've always been one way, you're probably not gonna change just because you're going to college. So I think that's kind of important to keep in mind. If you know that you're not going to function well really far from home, maybe don't go to college really far from home. But also on the other end of the spectrum, if you know you're somebody who like loves going to summer camp, like is happiest when traveling, like go for it, go far. Like, yeah, so, but my point being is don't feel like you need to do the other extreme if that's not you, because college in and of itself is hard enough on its own, rather than like adding in an additional like really rough factor. So that's my first thing. Second, think about your interests, and this really goes into picking a major, but it is good to have like an idea of what you might want to major in as you're looking at schools, because like obviously if you're not going to study art, you're not going to look at art schools. Like, well, I was studying art, so I was the other way around looking at art schools. But I also looked at universities, and that's where I ended up. I didn't go to art school. You know, thinking about your interests, don't just pick something because it's what everyone's doing or it's the thing that's going to guarantee you the most money, because at the end of the day, you're going to be doing this job like for a really long time, and if you hate it, like that's going to suck for a really long time. And I'm not saying like, and I think it's hard for me to give this advice because I'm a creative person, so I picked a creative like path, and so like my hobby, I guess, is also going to be my career. So it's, and like I realized like people who are business majors, their hobby is not business. But I feel like I'm gonna use my cousin for an example. She's very outgoing and very like convey information, I guess. But she's very like excited when she speaks about things, and she's well spoken, and so she's a communications major. So like that makes sense. So think about like what you're good at and what you like genuinely enjoy, because if you pick something that's like, I don't know, accounting, and you hate math, like, you know, that's not gonna work out, you know? So just, you know, think about those things. But I like, I don't know, yeah. It sounds very like, well, duh, but like, it's not, because everyone's telling you different things to think, and I don't know, it's just really stressful. And also, that being said, I'm a photography concentration right now, still an art major, but when I was looking at schools, I wasn't even looking at like art departments like to do studio art. I was looking at film, and like at the school I'm at, I like went into the school going to do film, and like the summer before classes started, I switched to studio art, which changed everything. So like, for one, it's never too late to change unless you're like end of senior year. That would make sense, but like, you know, I kind of forgot where I was going with that. But point being is, it's just important to think about your interests and picking your degree plan, because it's so much work and so much time, and like, you really do not have much free time. So if you hate what you're doing, like, you're gonna be depressed. Like, it's gonna really suck. My third thing is compare degree programs. This is like my number one thing I wish someone had told me, because, and honestly, maybe somebody had told me and I just blew it off, I don't know, but let me reiterate, if someone's already told you this, look at degree programs from different schools and compare them, because it's gonna be different at every school. And like, I'm just gonna use my major for example. So the way my degree program works is, so I'm not gonna talk about freshman year because that's a little bit different, but sophomore year on, you do 3 studios and 2 academic classes for the most part. I mean, things do shift around if you skip something, or, you know, you transfer in credits that will get you out of things. So like, it could be a little different, but basically, you're gonna have 3 studios and 2 academic classes. And only from here on out, but really with photography at my school, I only have 1 photo class every semester. So I'm taking 4 other classes that are not photo, and they, like, and I mean, so the other studios are still art classes, but they're not photo. So like, this coming semester, I'm taking figure drawing, ceramics, and advanced digital photo. So like, I don't really care about ceramics, I don't really care about figure drawing. Like, I'm gonna get something out of the class, and I'm not saying that they're not worth taking, you know, but it's not what I'm like really interested in, but I'm still gonna have to put in a lot of time to that. That takes away from what I'd rather be doing, you know? So, but I didn't really like think to get the degree programs from all the different schools I was applying to and compare what my schedule is gonna look like. And I mean, honestly, like, when I was leaving high school going into college, I was thinking, oh, I don't want to be in all art classes because I'm going to get sick of making art. And I still think to an extent that's true, but I wish I was taking more classes in my concentration. So like, it, you know, there's give and take or whatever, but what my point being here is, really do, like, especially once you've narrowed it down to, like, you know, your top schools or whatever, like, print off those degree programs. They're not that hard to find. You can probably Google like your school and then the degree program for whatever your major is, and compare them, so that way you have an idea of what classes you're going to be taking and how that degree program is going to compare to another school. My fourth thing is think outside of just going to school to get a degree. And what I mean by that is, like, think about your other interests, because yes, you're going to school for school, but like, this is where you're going to be living your life. So like, for me, a big factor in choosing my school was being able to still dance, because that's been like a huge part of my life for forever. Being realistic, I think I'm like a decent dancer because I've been dancing since I was 3 and doing it competitively since I was 6, and I've put in like so many hours. I mean, I did nothing in high school because I was always at dance, so like, I put in the hours to, you know, to become decent or good. And but you have to be like really, really good for it to be worth it to go to school for, basically, is what I'm saying. And also, I have other interests. I mean, I'm really, really passionate about photography, so like, it's not like I chose something else because I didn't think I could rely on dance, you know. But that being said, I definitely didn't want to give up dance, and I didn't realize until I got to college how important dance was really to me, because I've been doing it for so long, and maybe a little bit burned out, just because like, it was my life, you know. But now I'm like so thankful that I go to a school where I can also dance. And it's maybe not as intensive now as I sometimes want it to be, but like, if I'd gone to some of the art schools I was applying to, I probably would not have been able to dance. Basically what I'm saying is you need to think about what else you're doing in life right now, and if you're gonna be okay giving that up, or if you need to find a school that's gonna allow you to also do that. My last like tip or whatever is, don't go in with the expectation that this will be the best 4 years of your life. And that sounds like really pessimistic, but honestly, like, I went in really excited and I feel like I was disappointed in the end. And I don't want to say it's because my expectations were too high, but you don't know what it's going to be like. And so it's hard. Like, I mean, college is hard, and then you see what other people are doing. I mean, that's one of the downsides of social media, is that what people are projecting looks like they're having a great time, and then you're like, I am honestly really miserable right now. And like, don't get me wrong, I've had some really great moments in school. Like, I've met some great people. There are times when I'm really happy, but there are times when I'm like really upset and I really don't want to be at school and it's not very fun. And so basically go in with realistic expectations, knowing that like it's all gonna be new because you've never done this before. But there's gonna be some good moments and there's gonna be some bad moments, and you shouldn't expect anything to be a certain way because like you just really don't know. And then if you're not expecting it to be one way, you can't really be disappointed when it's not, you know? I hope that makes sense, but yeah, that was kind of a bummer note to end on. I guess what I would say with that last point is, like, make sure you find, like, things that make you happy when you're not, and, like, don't let yourself be stuck in a situation if it's, like, really not working. But if you know it's where you're supposed to be, like, when I'm, like, not very happy with, like, location I'm at or whatever, I think about what I'd have to give up if I left, and so like, focus on the things that make it good. And also think about, like, I mean, honestly, if like when I was in high school, I would have been like, oh, I hate high school, and like now I look back and I'm like, I'm not sure I'd want to relive it, but there's things about it that I miss. So just like look for those positives, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I hope this was like helpful information. I don't think I'm only at 1350, so not too long. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, and definitely let me know if y'all want more like college related videos, I guess, that are like, well, I mean, they could be anything, but more on like my thoughts or experiences, or like if you care about like my whole like application process and like how I picked a school and all that, because I definitely would be down to like get more in depth on that. Hopefully this was entertaining, helpful, enjoyable, any or all of the above. But yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Bye.